My view on Fox hasn't really changed. They let me say whatever I want, whatever I wanted, really, for 14 years. And I'll never stop being grateful for that. And then, obviously, I said too much. And I'm not exactly sure what I said that was bad. No one ever told me. But one day they're like, oh, can't have this anymore. And they fired me. And I even told them as they were firing me, like, it's your business.
So humble. Obviously, that was Tucker Carlson on his mediocre X show with Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy, opening up about his firing from Fox News. First glance, you might think it's a bit of a shock to hear Tucker sing the praises of his former network, but then he obviously had to make an insane comment. Listen.
I made a mental note, never work for anyone else again, and I never will. But I can't be mad about it. I mean, they were great to me. The Murdochs were always nice to me, and one day, for whatever reason, they'd had enough. So my feelings weren't hurt. I was not expecting it.
So were you like, for me, when I was with Penn, I knew there were things, it's like, oh, I can't go there. They made that clear. Did you feel like at Fox you could say whatever you want?
Well, there was always internal, the Murdochs were always nice. They never got in my way at all. They were always super nice to me. But there were, it's a company run by fearful women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there were always like second tier people who were hassling my producers, but no one ever called me. I got along with everybody, but I mean, I think they knew like the censorship that's not like don't welcome that, you know.
Yeah, fearful women, who didn't want to get sued for $100 million because of BS and lies Tucker's spreading. Let's remind you of some of this. The former Fox star was let go back in April. Many celebrated. This was during a tumultuous time for the network, which had recently settled a $787.5 million defamation suit. Network was also facing a lawsuit from former Fox producer who alleged a toxic workplace atmosphere at Tucker Carlson Tonight. Fox eventually settled that too, media with the reporting. Additionally, there were reports that Carlson had referred to a senior Fox News executive as a C word. One of those fearful women, I'm sure. Tuck also discussed his coverage of the Russia-Ukraine war and how it made the network very angry.
But they never actually got in the way of anything. Our view on the war in Ukraine was really, really hated. I could feel it. And my view was not pro-Russia, never has been pro-Russia. Just like, this is not our fight. It's not good for us. We should just put an end to the war because people die in war. I've seen it. It's bad. And just saying that was considered like crazy pro-Kremlin propaganda. And they were very mad about that. But to their credit, they never said anything to me about it directly. I could just smell it. And so I really just don't have any complaints. And I will say, and I know that you've experienced this, it's true, being humiliated in public, being fired, I have been a couple of times, is totally good for you in the end, because it keeps you from thinking you're Jesus or like getting like super crazy hubris guy,
There's just something where I feel like he's making a push to get back on there. He wants to get back on there. Tucker probably doesn't realize just how many insane predictions he's made regarding Russia. On Thursday, Russia's most prominent propagandist, Vladimir Solovyov, butchered that, made some pretty serious threats towards Carlson. The latest broadcast of the evening with Vladimir Solovyov featured multiple clips of Carlson's hysterical predictions, including his claim that the US government is getting ready to go to war with Russia. The war he implied the US would lose. Daily Beast. In a series of clips from Adam Carolla's YouTube show that were hand selected for the program, Carlson accused both Republicans and the Democrats of being insane and hysterical, predicting that a war between the US and Russia would start next year. Will there be a draft? Who says that? The dead man walking? He sincerely believes that the next step after the accusations and the declaration of impeachment will be an assassination of Trump. But this man, who is currently the most popular English-speaking journalist, signed his own death warrant. What do we make of that? Let's pause there. And you guys weigh in. Tucker Carlson says a lot. I don't think he does remember what he says, a lot of it, but he just needs to be provocative all the time, make that money, get his bag, and he'll deal with the consequences later, which rarely for him seem to come.
Yeah, so first thing I want to say is that I agree with you. He seems solicitous of the Murdochs. He's like, I was good with everybody. except for the women, of course. Every woman in the building is terrible. But outside of that, Murdoch's, I'm with you. I'm good. Notice I'm not complaining too much. Please give me my $20 million a year back, please, please. I was amused by the end there where he was like, helps you realize you're not Jesus. Why? Was that an open question? In his mind, whether Tucker Carlson was genius, that was an open question. Interesting. Okay, look, I've known a lot of executives in my life, and I'm not proud of it, but I know them. And are some of them fearful? Yeah, they want to keep their jobs. They're high-paying jobs. They're powerful jobs, and they a lot of times do act out of fear. Is it more true of women? No, of course not. It's preposterous. So him saying that is very telling because it gratuitously throws women under the bus. Now, I get it. The CEO of Fox News right now is a woman, so he's clearly directing some of his ire towards her without naming her. But he didn't say her, and he didn't say executives. He just said fearful women, and that plays well with his base too. They're like, yeah, you know how women are. Do we? What is that? I don't even know what that means. And what are they fearful of? I didn't even know that was a trope for women. I thought it was like once you're inside a marriage that you're fearful of them. Okay, I don't know. I don't know which way they were going, and the stereotypes are beginning to confuse me now. But the Russian stuff is really cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and I don't know why Tucker Carlson was fired. But that gives us our first hint. I mean, look, obviously the biggest potential reason is what Sharon alluded to. They had to pay nearly $800 million, not just because of Tucker Carlson, but partly because of Tucker Carlson. So that might make you afraid to lose another $800 million, and that's a legitimate concern. A second possibility is the one he mentioned there about his madness with the Russians. He's like, I'm not pro-Russian. I mean, look, I think Russia would beat us in a war. They can't beat Ukraine. They can't beat the Donbas region. Okay, and he did this insane speech in Hungary where he's like, "Oh, the Americans hate Russia because it's a Christian nation." What? Okay, but I'm not pro-Russian. I'm not pro-Russian. So apparently the Murdoch's a little freaked out about how pro-Russian Tucker is. I didn't know that. I guess score one for the Murdochs. Jordan, what do you make of it?
I mean, you see a pattern throughout Tucker's entire career that manifests here. So I was part of the team at Media Matters who went through all of his Bubba the Love Sponge call-ins. I mean, he called into this shock jock show in Florida for an hour at a time for years. So let me tell you, I know what he is capable of saying when he thinks people aren't really listening, and especially, people who don't like him aren't listening. And this is when he was at MSNBC. He would call into the shock jock show and make lewd, sexist remarks about his colleagues from his office. He was sitting down the hall from these women, calling into a shock jock show and commenting on their bodies, calling them, various misogynistic terms. And you see that in how he operated at Fox. Like Shannon just said, using the C word to describe an executive. They had a sexual harassment case against one of his producers. That's the culture he created on his show. So it's not really surprising when you have a huge settlement with Dominion, his department or his show's lawsuit, and what many speculated was a looming lawsuit over this guy who was a J6er who he kept accusing of being a Fed. Like there was probably another one coming. At the end of the day, Fox is a business and they want to make as much money as possible. And when you have him tied to all of these lawsuits, it is a no-brainer. It's just dollars and cents, get this guy out of here. No hard feelings, sorry, you're hurting our bottom line.
Wow, but the consequences catch up with him in the form of death, like assassination. Put up another quote from Vladimir Solovyov, maybe Jordan will tell me how to say it. They will not forgive him for the fact that he strives to interview our president and post the footage on a platform that has no censorship. For years, the head of RT, Margarita Simonyan, had promoted the idea of granting Carlson's long-standing wish to interview Putin. Last Sunday, she again reiterated her plea, describing the fired Fox News host as, quote, the most popular host in the history of the United States, and hoped the presidential administration would hear her. So let's wrap it up with that. How does Tucker get back on where he really wants to be? It seems like it's very lackluster on X or where he hangs out with his B or C or D list friends.
Yeah.
How does he get back on? And will he face consequences, Cenk, or is it just rhetoric?
Okay, so apparently the propagandists in Russia have never heard of someone called Oprah Winfrey. No, Tucker, not the most popular host in American history. Anyways, look, bottom line is Mr. Vladimir Solovyov, that's how you say it, it doesn't have any idea how America works. No one's executing Tucker Carlson. No one cares enough to. And no, not all of our leaders do wanton executions of anyone who criticizes them. That's just your guy.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.